we have over 2,600 matches across ESPN platforms. That's right, 2,600 matches. There are more matches of women's volleyball per season, but they're showing from all 22 conferences. The other rates to show on ESPN Plus, and then EC or SC at their games. We have 2025 slate. The most usually matches are usually just on ESPN2 and ESPNU, made with like single headers or double headers on like ESPN2, ESPNU. However, there's most matches ever across more matches on on the main ESPN channel during the week, and on the weekends when NFL is on. After like the WNBA playoffs are done on ABC, they might be going to air some more games on ABC, which is awesome. And 24, that's up 25 teams are going to at least play one game on ESPN, including the Big Ten teams. That is, so they're playing like top talent, like SCACC. That's why I watch those. And 13 are the top 15 from the preseason top 25 15 on the ESPN networks. And then we have the first serve showcase on Sunday, October 24th, which is the first games of the regular season. And they're going to have the first serve showcase, which is essentially like top teams matching up against each other for like women's volleyball featured matches. Right now, the women's college game is still more popular than like the women's pro game, but they're trying to get the women's pro game. They're trying to get the women's pro game aired more noticeable. Right now, they have the League One volleyball, like neutral site games, similar like OASO's kind of athletes in the sub league. And then they have the Pro Volleyball Federation, and then they have like Major League Volleyball, 3 separate leagues. The Pro Volleyball Federation, Major League Volleyball merged into one league. So now they have 2 leagues. One Major League. They have the Pro Volleyball Federation, which is on ESPN, or is on Fox Sports 1 and 2. It's on CBS Sports Network and some more like things like Roku channel. They're all merged into one league. And then you have the League One Volleyball, which is exclusively with ESPN, I believe. It is. Yeah, I don't see it on like any other televised networks though. And yeah. And then we have the first serve showcase: Pittsburgh and Florida Eastern, and Stanford and Nebraska at 3:3 Eastern. The first serve showcase, which they don't have the rights. They're like top, like Big Ten games, but since it's the first serve showcase, like a tournament, they still have the rights as like some of these tournaments, like just like the rights for conferences, and then they have like these specialized tournaments. The networks been on them, and ESPN won the rights for them, and they have the Broadway Block Party, which is started by ESPN events to feature Big Ten versus SC games, and there's one on ESPN. There's one on ABC at noon Eastern, Nebraska, Kentucky on the 31st. And there's one on ESPN2 for Purdue and Tennessee, and one in Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's never had a women's volleyball program, which is crazy to think that Vanderbilt never has, but it's insane to me to think that they never have, but I don't think they have like a women's basketball program, a women's a softball program. I don't believe they do, so. And I don't believe they have like a women's gymnastics program. A lot of women's sports programs don't have, so. It's also that they're having a volleyball program. You know, which I'm kind of surprised at a lot of schools. There's some schools like this said, they don't even have a women's basketball program, and they have a women's volleyball program. I think VMI doesn't have a women's basketball program, and they don't even have a women's basketball program. So, it's crazy to think, you know. That school, like most schools at all levels, have like at least the popular women's sports like volleyball, basketball. At least those two every school. Some don't even have like a soccer program like the power conferences, but then we have Stanford, Texas on ESPN on the 7th, Pittsburgh, Kentucky on 7th, as well as we go Texas on ESPN. ESPN has Arizona, Kansas, SMU, Pittsburgh on 28th. We go Stanford, October 5th, ESPN. Then Pittsburgh, Kentucky, Pittsburgh, we go ESPN, and as well as Kentucky, Oklahoma, Texas on ESPN. And I have an Ivy League featured game on ESPNU with Princeton Brown on November 2nd. Then Kentucky, Texas on ESPN on the 2nd. Utah Baylor on ESPNU on the 9th, featured ESPN Big 12 match. And then with Louisville Pittsburgh, the rematch on ESPN on AC Network. And then we have the showdown at the net. Showdown at the net. ESPN Events is having, which ESPN Events has their own operated like stadiums or tournaments that are created by ESPN Events, which I mean, it's just awesome, you know. It's, even if like they a lot of these teams they're not really getting, it's kind of like maybe a free air event. You don't really have to pay that much to really own because it's on their own platforms. But either way, these teams will gladly compete because it gets them on TV. And gets ones volleyball featured. And these teams will gladly take it, And especially when the women's pro game, the women's college game is like more popular than the women's pro game in volleyball. Especially when like the women's pro game in here in the United States for volleyball, it's so young, and there's so many competing leagues, and there's like not very, you have the Kentucky League of Texas, or in the ACSC clash, Pitt Kentucky League of Texas, on the ACSC clashes. And that's a 4-team showcase at Dickies Arena. And for Texas, September 10th, we'll have a 4-team showcase. And then Pitt Panthers, at 6 Eastern, Leo Cardinals, Texas Orange, and Eastern ESPN. And then, you have Minnesota, Crane, USC, and Dane will be on ESPN Plus. And then we have the women's volleyball semifinals on Thursday, December 18th on ESPN. The National Championship, 6 Eastern, and 30 minutes after the first one. And then December 21st will be ABC. It'll be from T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. And this third straight year they're airing the National Championship on ABC. And then we have Here are the first serve: Pittsburgh, Florida, 1 Eastern. Nebraska, Stanford, 3:30 stream ESPN. And then the 28th is Belmont, Vanderbilt on SC Network. Broadway Blackboard has, like I mentioned that earlier, on the 31st. On that, and then we have the 4th, number 9 Texas A&M, number 2 Utah, ESPN 2. Washington, number 10 Eastern, Eastern. UCLA, number 18 at number 25 TCU, and ESPN U at 7 Eastern. On the 5th of September, Friday, and on September 7th, 6 Stanford at 5 Texas, 1 Eastern, 3 Eastern, Illinois at number 4 ESPN. They mentioned show of the net. There have been a show of the net games. 8 of them are on ESPN. 8 of the 16 are on ESPN Television. And it's like ACC versus SEC. ECSC Challenge. We have number 22 Georgia Tech at Tennessee and at 6 Eastern. 7 Eastern is number 9 Texas A&M at number 10 SMU and ESPN 2. Then number 16 Florida at number North Carolina at 7 Eastern. And 3 Eastern is number 6 Stanford, number 17 Missouri ESPN. And then South Carolina NCAA and ACR at 6 Eastern. 6:30 Eastern is number 3 Pittsburgh, number 7 Kentucky ESPN. 7 Eastern is Florida State, Oklahoma at ACR. Number 4 number 5 Texas ESPN. 9 Eastern. And right there. And there's one on ECR, one SCR on Tuesday, September 9th. Then on Wednesday, September 10th, there's one ECR, one SCR, and 2 on ESPN. Then we have one on ESPN 2 at 7 Eastern on Friday, September 12th. Number 8, Wisconsin, number 22, Georgia Tech. And then Baylor, number 20, Baylor, number 16, Florida. Number 13, Arizona State, number 5, Texas. 1 Eastern and 3 Eastern, respectively. And the 14th on ESPN 2. 17th on ESPN U is number 25, TCU, number 5, Texas. On the 17th, 18th at 6 Eastern. And number 7, Kentucky, number 41, ESPN U. And then 7 Eastern on SC York. On Friday, September 18th, number 20, Baylor, number 5, Texas, SC York. South Carolina, number 7, Kentucky. On East York at 7 Eastern on the 24th. Missouri, number 9, Texas, University of Missouri, number 9, 6 a.m. ESPN U at 7 Eastern. Eastern, East York. Number 3, Pittsburgh, number 10, SMU. And Vanderbilt, number 5, Texas at 9 Eastern at SC York. And then 26th, Alabama, Auburn at 7 Eastern at SC York. And number 13, Arizona State, number 14, Kansas, and number 14, Kansas, and ESPN U at Eastern. On 28th, at 1 Eastern, at SC York. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and Arizona, and number 14, Kansas, and ESPN. 1:30 Eastern the same day. California, Virginia, and ESPN. And number 10, SMU, and number 3, Pittsburgh at 3 Eastern, ESPN. On SC York at 7 Eastern. Number 9, Texas A&M at South Carolina, and Duke, North Carolina at the same time. 40 hours later, in the 3rd at 7 Eastern. Number 7, Kentucky at Ole Miss, and SC York. Number 22, Georgia Tech, and number 3, Pittsburgh, and SC York at noon Eastern on the 5th. And then Georgia at South Carolina at SC York, 1 Eastern. And on 5 p.m. Eastern on the 5th of October. It's time for about number 6, Stanford ESPN. And then on the 8th, one on AC York, one on SC York. At the same time, on the SC at 7 Eastern. Number 7, Kentucky, number 9, Texas SC feature game, and the AC feature game, NCAA Forest. 10th, at 7 Eastern, SC York, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. 12th, at 1 Eastern, number 7, Kentucky, LSU, on the ESPN. Number 10, SMU, Miami, at 1:30 Eastern, AC York. Pittsburgh, Florida State, number 3, Pittsburgh, Florida State, at 3 Eastern, at ESPN. And the 15th, on SC York. Number 16, Florida at Tennessee. Virginia Tech on AC York at 7 Eastern, and 7 Eastern on the 17th. Alabama, Georgia on AC York, and 9 Eastern, Hawaii at Long Beach State on the 17th, and ESPN U. And 9 Eastern. Hawaii is a good team in men's, well, they're a top team. There's not as many men's teams, so they're a good team. Women's volleyball. Historically, they're not a bad team, though. And Long Beach State is historically a decent team. So it's a good game for the Big West Showcase on ESPN. And then on 1 Eastern on ESPN is number 3 Pittsburgh and number 4 North Carolina on the 18th. AC York has North Carolina at Syracuse at 2. 3 is LSU University of Missouri on the SC York. And number 16, Florida. Number 7, Kentucky and ESPN. And then Oklahoma at number 5, Texas and ESPN, 8-3 Eastern. Sometimes like they are like women's volleyball matches. Like I know there are women's volleyball tournament games. Like or certain matches during NFL action on ESPN or like smaller sporting events on ESPN to compete. Not necessarily like this is their biggest. Like they're never gonna beat the NFL. So they're never gonna beat completely Sunday football. But if they can take away like a niche audience, like that will watch like because there's some people who watch volleyball you know, but over football, like especially if they're volleyball players, you know, or used to be volleyball players in like high school, college, you know, stuff like that, or currently are players, volleyball players. They will, but yeah, I think it's cool that they're airing that. I think it is. I like it. But also ESPN it might be having and WNBA during that time as well, beforehand on Sundays, because I know they have Sunday baseball and then they might air WNBA playoffs as well. So yeah, and then we have Arkansas at Auburn on 22nd at 7 Eastern this year. Eastern York has Syracuse at Wasakaja, that was on Eastern on 22nd. 24th has SCR Eastern, number 5 Texas Ole Miss, and Eastern Kansas State, number 14 Kansas ECU, and these are Eastern time. Noon, number 16 for number 22 Georgia on the ACR. Auburn at Oklahoma, 1 Eastern on the ACR. Number 16 at Florida, Arkansas, Eastern ESPN. 3 Eastern ESPN doubleheader, number 40 at North Carolina. And then we have 3 games on Wednesday, October 28th. 2 at 7. Arkansas, Oklahoma on SCR. Number 40 at Notre Dame on the ACR. And then 9 Eastern. Number 25 TCU, number 13 Arizona State and ESPN. Thursday, October 30th, Eastern Memorial by ESPN. And then on the 31st, number 10 North Carolina ECR. 12 Noon Eastern on the 2nd. Princeton Brown and ESPN. Number 7 Kentucky, number 5 Texas at 1 Eastern ESPN. 1:30 Eastern ECR. Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Number 9 16 at Tennessee ESPN 2 3 Eastern. And then on the 5th of November at 7 Eastern, we have the start of NC, and that's November is the start of NC women's basketball, and the men's and women's basketball seasons overlap with the end of the football season and the ending of like the conference tournament, like the postseason tournaments and the conference tournaments for men's and women's soccer, and then in the last month about the women's volleyball season, regular season. And then we have for Americans this year, Florida State Miami this year, and then number 7, number 5 Texas, number 16 Florida 7 Eastern this year, 1 Eastern on ESPN, Virginia, number 3 Pittsburgh on 8th, and number 23 Utah, number 2 Baylor ESPN, 4 Eastern, 4:30 Eastern, number 17 number 7 Kentucky this year, LSU at Georgia on the 12th at Wednesday at 7 Eastern ECR has went 7 Eastern as well, number 2 Georgia at Clemson. And then Florida State number 4 on the ECR at 7 Eastern on the 13th, 7 Eastern and 14th on the ECR. Friday, that Missouri, University of Missouri, Mississippi State. And then doubleheader, there's 2 on ECR, doubleheader, 1 on ECR, 1 ESPN, 2 on ESPN, on the ECR, 1 Eastern, Oklahoma, Tennessee, 3 Eastern, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, both on ECR. And then 1 Eastern, ESPN with Miami at number 4 Louisville, and ESPN 2, 5 Eastern, number 10 SMU, and number 6 Stanford. And then on the 21st of November, Friday, November 21st, on SC Network, we have the first round of the women's volleyball tournament for the SEC Women's Volleyball Tournament, the conference tournament. And then on the 22nd, the Saturday, November 22nd, is the second round, which airs on SC Network Plus. The AC Network will show their tournament. Well, actually, the AC Network does not have a woman. ACC Network does not have a women's volleyball tournament, as the ACC does not do a women's volleyball tournament. The SEC used to not do a women's volleyball tournament. The power conferences used to not do a women's volleyball tournament. However, the SEC is starting to have one this season, which I don't mind, honestly, which I actually like, the conference tournaments. No, I honestly like the women's conference tournaments. You know, if the other conferences have one, like the non-power conferences have one, why can't, like the Big 12, the Big 10, SEC, why can't, like they have, the conference in the semifinals, or the second round will be on SCR Plus at noon, 2:35 and 7:30 Eastern on the 22nd of November, and it overlaps with college football, nearing the end of the college football season on SC Network. That's nearing the end of the conference season, or the conference season for college football, nearing the very end of that. So, and then the quarterfinals will be at noon, 2:35 and 7:30 Eastern on Sunday, November 23rd on SC Network. And then 1 Eastern is number 4 Clemson AC Network. And then 6 and 8:30 Eastern on the 24th of November is the SC Women's semifinals on SC Network. And then 7 Eastern is SC Women's Championship on SC Network. And then number 4 Northern Pittsburgh and the AC Network. So there you have it. That's the ESPN Women's College Volleyball schedule release for the 2025 season for college volleyball. There are 2,600 women, over 2,600 women's college volleyball matches. The majority of them are on ESPN Plus, but they're airing a special match on ABC as part of the Broadway Block Party. And they're also airing a special match and they're airing a lot more matches on ESPN, especially in like Sunday afternoons. Maybe they might have WNBA on on ABC. They may have WNBA regular season, ending of the WNBA regular season, then WNBA playoffs on ABC, like doubleheaders on ABC, and then they'll have some women's volleyball on ESPN. It's kind of what it looks like now. Especially in this year, when it's the last year they're going to have the exclusivity for the WNBA playoffs, because next year the WNBA playoffs are going to be split between like the networks like Amazon, NBC, ESPN. They all want a piece of the WNBA playoffs. So ESPN. So like the ESPN may have or the A-tier package where they may get the NBA, the WNBA finals every year. but then like the first round is split between all the networks, and then maybe NBC and Amazon, they may split, I guess every ESPN may get like one semifinal series, or they split games between the semifinal series. They may get the most games of the semifinal series, but then like NBC or Amazon may get the other semifinal series. Either they get the whole semifinal series, or they get or they're just gonna air the games. When if the ESPN semifinal series done, then the other semifinal series, when the one was NBC or Amazon, move to ESPN exclusive and move to that one. Who knows? Not just like NBA does it, or it's like TNT and with TNT, NBC. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, I like it. More on NBC or on ESPN. Yeah, because of WNBA, presumably WNBA on ABC, presumably so. But I'm assuming so. The matches will be on ESPN because of that. And then the days that ESPN2 has women's, I'm presuming. So, that, ESPN or ABC is going to more, probably ABC is probably got more women's basketball, WNBA coverage. So they'll have WNBA coverage on ABC more. And that's when the matches are on ESPN2 or on ESPN. There'll be ABC WNBA coverage for playoffs. I'm presuming so more, so that which is awesome. It's kind of awesome, so they're not having the games be on, they're more WNBA on ABC, and women's coverage will be on ESPN, which I love, it's awesome.